Hi everyone, Marc Laurenson here from Sydney Astrology School. Joining me as we head into episode number 6 of our Sex and Intimacy series. And in this episode, we're going to be looking at the sign of Taurus and the planet Venus. Now, this is not necessarily for people with the sun in Taurus or the moon in Taurus. I'm more concerned with people who've got Taurus on the cusp of the 5th house or the cusp of the 8th house, or Venus, the planet Venus, in those particular houses. Now, I also want to underscore that this is more of an energetic understanding rather than a personal understanding, because what I want to say, in your personal charts, you may have other planets in these particular houses that are actually going to possibly overshadow the Venusian energy. If you have Pluto in there, or Saturn in there, or Jupiter in there, it's going to actually come out as the dominant feature, okay? So this is more of an energetic understanding of Taurus in those particular houses, or the planet Venus in those houses as well, okay? So let's get a good understanding of the sign of Taurus, particularly when it comes into the arena of sex and intimacy. Now, Taurus is arguably the most sensual of all the signs, so already we're getting a really good understanding of its approach and its love of this particular area. It is Venusian. Venus is the ruling planet of Taurus. She is the goddess of love, and she's the goddess of connection. She is the goddess of closeness. So you get a feeling of Taurus really loving the arena, really loving the terrain of getting close to people. Now, I want to say, because Taurus is so sensual, you get an extra boost of loving the connection, on a much more tangible level. It's a much more sensual understanding of this. So we're going down the road of touch, and I want to say beautiful music and taste, and we're going down the road of areas to do possibly with stuff that we can hear or we can take in on that level. As I said, it's a very, very tangible sign. It's a sign that loves to be able to get their fingers into the I'm heading into territory there, aren't I? Wanting to get the feeling of what it's all about on a very, very, very tangible level, okay? So I'm going to keep moving on from this. So when we're thinking about Taurus, we really, really have to understand a sign who probably likes the lead up to getting more intimate than anything else. And I'm talking about the foreplay side of things. I'm talking about people who do probably like the caressing and the cuddling. Maybe there's something to do with putting some beautiful music on. Taurus is very much into smells as well. So maybe there's particular scents or aromas that come into this too. Massage and massage oils would be a big thing for people with Taurus or Venus in these particular houses. Now, back in the old days, I don't know if people do it anymore, but it was a big thing about eating stuff off each other. The whipped cream all over, or the honey all over each other, and then eating it off each other. I mean, it's a little bit dated now, but maybe people still do it. I don't know, but I can imagine the Taurus loving the food side of intimacy as well. Okay, so beautiful music. I like the idea of putting some lovely, I want to say calming kind of romantic music would also be a big part of the Taurus understanding of setting the mood, so to speak. Okay, so as I said, the feeling, that the tactile side of it is going to be super, super important for people who have Venus in those houses, or the planet, or the sign of Taurus in those particular terrains as well. Okay. So I want to go down the road of saying that because Taurus is an earth sign, it's a fixed earth sign, it's the first earth sign. And so therefore it is very, very connected to the earth. It's a very grounded sign, and it's very, very bodily conscious, of course. Very different to Virgo. You know how Virgo is more about the working of the body. Taurus is more about the body just as the body and the feeling of the body. So it grounds it. I want to say getting close to somebody and getting intimate is a very grounding experience for Taurus. It is a way of like getting their toes into the earth. You know, it's a feeling of being anchored. It's a feeling of feeling safe and a feeling of being secure. And so for a lot of Tauruses, people with Taurus in those areas, there might be a sense of looking for a sense of, I want to say, that feeling of being, a feeling of being a part of the earth and enjoying what the earth has to offer. That is all part of getting close to somebody at the same time. It connects them, it connects them to Gaia, it connects them to the goddess, the earth goddess at the same time. Now, you want to go down the road of having a look, at the ownership side of this too. And sometimes it's not necessarily going to go down a good road because a lot of us, want to kind of own each other in this particular area. There's a possessiveness that goes on here, a little tiny bit of that feeling. Again, it goes down the road of the security side of things. I own you, you own me, I'm your possession, you're my possession, that kind of thing. This is not healthy, of course, but I want to actually say that maybe in some way Taurus might find themselves getting caught up in that, and they have to be careful of that. Jealousy would be a big part of this. That whole thing of both of us being linked and bonded to each other in such a way that all of a sudden we feel almost like we're each other's possessions. And as I said, that's not a good thing. So you have to be very, very careful of how much emphasis or how much of your fear will manifest in that kind of way too. Taurus, is known for, stability and everything being reliable and everything being practical and safe. So there could be a predictability going on here. Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing because, for some people, you know what you like. I find with Taurus, I often find there is a certain part of the body that is very, very sensitive. And so therefore always bringing that part of the body into intimate situations is going to be good because you're on a sure thing there. But, and that's the predictability I'm talking about. Going down those roads could be a good thing. But then again, the other side of that is the predictability of doing the same thing over and over and over again. Now, again, nothing wrong with it, but when you're looking at wanting to maybe spice up your life, so to speak, maybe the predictability of things might get a little bit rote, might get a little bit boring, and so there might be something new that needs to come in a way. It's always going to have to be Taurian, meaning it's always going to have, a feeling of romance or sensuality involved, But again, Taurus is a primal sign, and I mean that in a really, really positive way. And so I want to say that sex can be honored for what it is. That feeling of just enjoying it, just enjoying the bodily contact, and just enjoying it for the I want to say for the for the reasons of two people coming together and enjoying each other just on that level. That's very, very Taurus at the same time too. So again, you're going to be going down that road as well. You're going to be just understanding Taurus on the level of using sex as much as you would, or as on the same level as kind of eating, eating or breathing almost. It could also come into their sense of survival at the same time. So I want to say, with Taurus, I want to say that when you're in a close situation or an intimate situation with somebody, and you have a lot of Taurus Venus energy in the areas of your chart that go down the road of that, I want to say for you, to be able to feel safe and secure with this area is number one. To be able to feel um, open, to be able to feel free, to be able to come into a very, very comfortable, unapologetic, warm, loving, heart-centered place with the tangible and the sexual in this particular area, and not feel you have to apologize for it or not feel ashamed of it in any way, because it feels to Taurus like it feels very, very natural. It feels really, really organic. And when Taurus and when the sign of Venus comes into sex and intimacy in a very natural, real, God given, organic way, then it is going to actually work at its best.